Good morning. Welcome to TERRA at Home. I'm here with Colleen at TERRA, and nice seeing you again.
Good to see you too.
Look at what surrounds us. The essence of fall.
Yes.
We are closing in on fall here. The kids are back to school officially this week, and we need to start looking at our gardens. Well, I'm sure you looked at your garden. I know that mine generally starts to just look really
A little crunchy now.
Yeah, crunchy. And all those beautiful trailers that you have in your planters, I don't know about it, but mine just kind of go. And so I start to say, okay, time to move the mums in, time to move in some of the beautiful fall color. And you sort of deal with the fact that summer has left us. So
Yes, but the season isn't over.
Right.
There's lots of time left, so there's lots of color that you can still put into your garden and infuse that extra little boost, because our seasons are going a lot longer than they used to. So no need to give up on the garden itself. We know that we can do our fall planters and whatnot, but there's other things to do in the garden as well.
That's the thing. So you look around your garden, and sometimes there's certain things that maybe didn't take very well, and you do have some holes and some spaces here and there. And as you said, you do want to hang onto the garden the best that you can, because we know once winter comes, that's a whole other picture out there.
Don't go there yet.
So don't go there, right? We want to still enjoy all of what's offered to us this time of year. So let's talk with some ideas of how we can fill out some of those spaces and some of your favorite new additions.
Yes. Well, I'm a great proponent of also shopping year-round for your garden, because if you only shop in the spring, you won't find the things that are coloring in the fall. So it's a great time of year to get out and start shopping again. You can look at different plants. Like these on this side here are mostly the perennials. So you have your sedums, which are amazing.
So beautiful.
They are heat tolerant. They love the sun. They're drought tolerant too, so they don't take a lot of care. And these seed heads, the flower heads, will actually attract your butterflies and your pollinators as well.
Awesome.
So that's a bonus, as well as the fact some of them, these ones here have like variegated. And a lot of people think of fall as having like your oranges and your browns and your burnt colors, but you can still have like the pinks and the plums if that's kind of your color scheme. So it's not, you don't always have to go to those rusty typical fall leaf colors.
Right. I know that's what my mom does, and she does that even with her mums. She goes into the mauves and those plum colors for her mums, and it still creates that look of fall. It's just people have different versions of what that means.
Yeah, you can still have soft, like it can still be soft.
Right.
And these are the upright sedums. There's also ground cover sedums that are great for border edges, especially if you have like some small spaces that maybe your annuals aren't looking wonderful. Then these are great to add in. They'll come back year after year, and then you can still pop those pops of color in of the annuals in the spring. So then that gives you that combination look there. And these ones have great colors. The burgundy one there is called Firecracker. And then there's some fun ones called like Dazzleberry and Lime Zinger, and so you can have some fun with the colors too.
Right.
And then coordinating with that, because you still want to go with your layers.
Yes.
So even just with these three types of plants here, you've got your upright sedum for the back, you've got your lower sedum in the front, and then you can go with some of the heucheras or the coral bells.
Yes.
And they have amazing leaf color as well. And some of them are semi-evergreen. So if you have a spot that doesn't get a whole lot of snow in the winter, something like that will actually give you some color in the winter too.
Nice. And you know what I find, I planted some of them midsummer this year, and they're a little, right? So the fall, they'll kind of rejuvenate them a little bit.
Fall is a great time to plant both nursery and some little annuals to kind of keep it going.
Sure.
The soil is warm, so the roots get established really quickly, and you can also usually find some really good deals on plants too.
And that's a bonus as well. And so that goes for what we're not really touching on today, but big on full trees. You can plant those in the fall, right?
Yes.
Do it. Don't be afraid. People we kind of wait for the spring for that sometimes, but
yeah, it is important. Like when you're planting, whether you're planting, something like the hydrangea, ornamental grasses, or your sedums, or even if you're planting your mums, it's still a good idea to use your fertilizer.
Yes.
Fertilizing in the fall, you don't typically do a lot because you don't want it to put on a burst of growth. You want to get them established. So this is a root stimulator, so it gets the roots established. Especially with our cold winters, you need the roots to get established so the plant's hardy enough to survive the winter.
Okay, so you're not going, as you say, you're not really going to give your flowers a big boost of growth and color and all that right now. You're just trying to get them in there and solid.
Yeah, so if you're looking at the 3 numbers of your fertilizer, lower first number, because the first number is what gives it the flush of growth. The middle number is for your roots. Last number is for overall hardiness of the plant. So you want those 2 last numbers to be a little bit on the higher side, or at least balanced.
That's good. I think a lot of people look at that and say, I'll just read the back, because I don't know what the numbers mean.
And you want to use more of an instant fertilizer, such as a water soluble, or this is a liquid that you dilute, because that gives it more of an instant boost. Other ones, the slow release, you don't want them to start releasing 2 months from now when they're supposed to be going to sleep.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Usually
that's
slow
good.
release first thing in the spring.
Very good tips. Very good tips. And we look over here on this side of things. Obviously, I mean, we do need to talk about mums
Yes.
because this is the time of year. I think everybody grabs at least one mum
Exactly.
somehow, somewhere.
Yes, we do.
Now, you can also plant them directly into your ground.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yep, they are great for direct planting, as well as there are like the black-eyed Susans. There's a lot of alternatives too. There's your different ornamental grasses, your fountain grass. There's also ones that grow extremely tall that kind of look like a burgundy corn, the millet, which is really good.
Oh, I like that too.
And even like if you have a hole in your garden where something's not doing very well, or you've cut back some of your annuals, throw in a colorful planter. Like some of the planters that we have in these colorful pots, just pop one of those in the middle of your garden, and putting planters in your garden also
that's a neat
infuse
idea.
that burst of color.
Sure, absolutely does. Oh, I like that idea. Very good. Okay, so this is also the time of year when we need to talk about planting bulbs.
Yes.
So we need to get those bulbs in the ground. What's the ideal time? Because we're a little early in
Anytime
September
now.
right now. Anytime now.
Yeah, anytime now. One thing, if you can't wait until spring and you want a little burst of color,
love
there
this.
are fall crocus.
And that's what these
So
are here?
that's what those are there. So
Look
you
at
plant
these.
them now and they will bloom now.
Okay, so really?
Yes.
Like bloom now as in
Now.
how quickly? Like now?
Within a few weeks. They'll,
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes they'll start blooming in the package if they've
Oh
if
my
it's been really
goodness.
warm.
So they're just ready to roll.
Yeah. So they're kind
Okay.
of fun. So they
All
give
right.
you that appearance of spring
Oh.
now.
Oh, that's cool. I never knew
So.
that existed. Very nice. But there are some things you need to remember when it comes to planting your fall bulbs for spring. Make sure that you're doing the right depth.
Yes.
For sure, right?
So using something, this is a bulb planter, so it's good if you're planting anything. Also in the spring, it's got measurements on the side here, so you can know how deep to go. And this one particularly, put it in the ground and it'll pull out a plug of soil so you can put your bulb in. And then
So much
this
easier.
one has a little button on it, so it releases the soil back into the hole.
Amazing. So much faster.
And some other tools of the trade, you know, it's always good to have a little cultivator because that helps work up the soil as well as clear any debris.
Yes.
If you have roses or things like that, you want to clear the old leaves away
Okay.
because some diseases will overwinter. So you want to clean up some of that debris before
right.
winter.
Okay.
Good pair of sharp pruners so that you can be pruning back things. Careful pruning back things that bloom in the spring, such as your lilacs and your magnolias, because you'll be pruning off the blooms.
Ooh, really? So
Yes.
what you don't prune them back then?
No, those ones you don't prune back. Generally
Okay.
speaking, I usually do most of my pruning in the spring after things bloom. If
Okay, yes.
general rule of thumb, prune
Yes.
after bloom.
That's right. Okay.
So, and
don't do that
especially
now.
hydrangeas, you could prune them.
Right.
But those those flower heads will dry on the plant and give you some
Yeah,
winter interest.
They actually look really neat.
So they're really
I like
pretty.
That.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Okay.
Good pair of garden gloves.
Yep.
Always. And then that kind of protects your hands and your manicure if
And
you
so
have one.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure as a gardener you don't.
And no.
But one thing, of course, that's the best part. If you have all the tools of the trade, then it's coming in and deciding what kind of spring fun you're going to have in your garden, because
Exactly.
there are so many different bulbs to choose from, and just try to find ones that sort of bloom throughout the season, and then you can enjoy this season now by all the color we have,
Yep.
and then look forward to the spring. So
Little
that's what we'll
work
do.
now.
We'll skip right past winter. Yay! Happy almost fall, Colleen. That's it for now. We'll come back with more Terra at Home.
Live color fully at Terra, where color lives.
Heritage perennials. Look for us in the blue pots.
Good morning. Welcome to Terra at Home. I'm here with Dave Maciulis from Natural Landscape Group, and we've officially invaded
The garden.
the garden.
Yeah. Used to
Your
be a
garden.
swimming pool.
Yeah, okay.
Used to be a swimming pool here, yes.
So Amazing. You could see how this was once a pool.
Yeah.
But now you are holding a beautiful array of vegetables.
My produce.
And you show the possibilities of a large chunk of land.
Yeah.
And we know we can also do this in a very small piece of land.
Yes.
You have every vegetable pretty much known to man.
Well, you know what? I did it for a couple of reasons. Like the kids weren't really helping out with the pool, and I wanted to connect them with nature.
So you're like, if you don't help with the pool, I'm
gonna get rid of it.
Dirt.
And I got rid of it. But no, I have an agenda to put in another pool. But the vegetable garden was something that I've always wanted to attain. I was practicing with a smaller plot in my yard. And then when I saw this idea of just like putting in anything that you could possibly think about to cook with, because I love cooking. And so from the eggplant to the zucchini to the tomatoes and these hot peppers.
Yeah, look at these guys.
Oh, I know. TERRA went crazy with hot peppers and I walked in and I had to have every hot pepper that was there. So I planted almost every hot pepper that TERRA had.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you using
I'm
it?
addicted to these now. I didn't
goodness.
like hot stuff before, but now I'm adding it to everything. I'm adding it to like the grilled vegetables. I'm adding it to the chicken marinade. I'm adding it to everything because it's actually got an amazing taste to it, but you got to be careful. Yeah,
yes,
too much is
you do.
Yeah, too much.
The handling
can leave you speechless. Yeah.
Sure. Well, that's what comes with experimentation. So now this is your first year.
This is my first year and first time
like
taking on this big.
Full-on garden. Is it manageable for you? Are you finding it a little bit over the top?
Well, you know what? My morning routine is get up early in the morning and do a little watering and a little bit of weeding just to stay on it.
Yes.
And I find it very therapeutic in a sense where I just like it's. Some people do yoga. I like doing gardening. Yeah. And so I really enjoy it.
So and then people do enjoy it. It is a lot of people will say that it is therapeutic and that is their thing, right? Yeah. So you want to, I mean, I guess probably ideally, like as you did, start off small, see if you like it, experiment with a few things that are easy to grow, and then out you come. So like where did you start with this? How, I mean, obviously pool's out, filled it in, and did you draw like a map up? Did you kind of plot it out?
No, I just kind of went from my head and
it was some plants in the ground.
You know what? I've been planning clients' other landscapes and their wishes for having vegetables. Doing a lot of research on, you know, the production of vegetables. Really, I wanted to be hormone-free, pesticide-free, no chemicals. So really, this is all au naturel, and I'm really happy with the turnout and the taste between this and an out-of-season store-bought is day and night difference.
It really is, and we know that with specific things like tomatoes and peaches and stuff like that. But so you're even noticing it even like in a zucchini or an eggplant.
Wow. Yeah, the taste is very different. Yeah.
Right, and because, and I think a lot of it is because we are picking it when it's ripe.
That's right.
It's not, we're not picking it when it's green, and it's not going to be, you know, put into a transport truck and shipped up for thousands and thousands of miles, right?
That's right.
And then kind of ripening, sort of.
Yeah.
So you're getting a higher nutrient density as well, right? From all of them. Now you have everything. You have a lot of tomatoes. I was looking at all of your different types of tomatoes. Yeah. What are you going to do with all?
Well, you know what? I do love pasta sauces, so I'm experimenting with that salsa. So I like, you know, I've got the onions, the sweet onions, the tomalatalos, the heirloom tomatoes, like everything that you make good salsas with. So I really want to get into trying out my own salsas and some hot salsas.
Right. Yeah. And are you going to do some canning?
Yeah. Well, the mason jars, right?
Yeah. So just get it going, and then I guess obviously as you get into your salsas, and that's essentially what you're doing. But it kind of forces you to do that, or you share with your neighbors, right?
Not yet. Not yet. I've been going through all of it.
Neighbors are like.
But I think it's time to share because it's really coming on. Like
now I know where you live. I'm gonna hop your fence at night.
Yeah, there you go. Be my guest.
So let's talk a little bit about again. So you just kind of planted where you were. Are there certain things that you would have maybe changed from what you've planted so far this year? Things that have maybe grown into each other that you weren't expecting, or something that was a little bit not quite what?
Well, yeah, you know what? The squash is really gotten out of control. You need a lot of space. It's starting to invade other areas. Onions maybe a little bit spaced apart, but you know what? I kind of went on this rule of thumb, 2-foot spacing, because the produce is really getting big, and I kind of knew that already. But yeah, no, it's just been kind of fun, and you know, trimming back the jungle a little bit has been on part of the duties. But otherwise, yeah, no, the outcome has been
and everything so far has been working for you. Everything's been growing as it should.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Even the broccoli. Broccoli is hard to grow.
Oh well, so I hear, but it's good. It's working.
It is. It's really good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the fact that we were saying that these are natural and organic, and because you're not putting. What are you putting on them?
Well, actually, there's a little fertilizer that
Yeah.
I'll put on.
Is it an organic fertilizer then? Is that what you're using?
You know what? I don't know. It's blue.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's again, you're
Yeah.
in control, and so you know, an organic fertilizer is going to give you that option to be able to do.
Yeah. Well, and it's the pesticides that are more important to me. Is that I don't use any, and when I do get a little
Yes.
bit of bug infestation, I actually hand pick them off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
because I don't want to use any sprays.
Right.
There's been a few rodents invading, so you know, a little bit of
Really?
rodent control.
So you've had
Yeah.
some guys like coming in and chewing on the
Yeah,
fruit and vegetables.
yeah,
Okay.
but then even like powdery mildew, if that happens to invade, I don't mind it. It's
Right.
yeah, if there's some that are getting really out of control, I'll pluck off the leaves. But
Okay.
yeah, keep away from the chemical use as much as possible.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
the whole point of it too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is one of the major points, is that you're able to know what's going into your food.
Mhm.
So
Because we are what we eat.
yeah, we really are. So in the big scheme of things, like once this, as we're moving through the fall and we get into the end of all of this, and once we're done, we have our squashes out and all that, then what do you do with this massive garden? What are some tips for people kind of to finish
Well,
off the year?
yeah, I've been composting, so a lot of the weeds that I've been pulling or the leaves I've been trimming back, even the lawn that I've been cutting, I've been composting. So what I intend to do is put back the organic that I've been trimming out,
Okay.
to put it back so we replenish the soil.
That's good.
It's even helpful to put down some manure, so cattle manure, sheep manure is something I'll be ordering in, because
Yep.
the soil lacks a little bit of that organic matter, because
Right.
it is a farming topsoil
Okay.
that I brought in. And
I can imagine that's key, right? The soil is essential. This is what
Yeah.
it's pulling its
well, I had
nutrients
to
from,
replace it with 2 truckloads of soil where the pool used to be. And I wanted the boys to kind of get a handle on that, so we
Yeah.
all did it by hand. No
Okay.
machines, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah,
So I
hand
guess
dug
the
it
big
in.
question before we leave at this point, are the kids helping out?
Yes, they are actually. Yeah,
Cool.
and they're finding it great, because you know, my 15-year-old loves bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwiches, so he's getting
There's
his
a
tomatoes
lot of
free.
tomatoes.
Yeah. My daughter's vegetarian, so you know, that helps out.
That's
yeah.
pretty cool. And
Yeah.
you know what? And you're teaching them some very good life skills. More and
Yeah.
more people are starting to come back to their own garden now. We're seeing it everywhere, even from just having planters on a patio. If you don't actually have a formal backyard,
Yeah.
you can do it, and you can grow. You can grow those vertical gardens that we've been talking about so much. So everyone can do it, and you're teaching them really good skills.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
The results have been great.
yeah, so eventually pool might go back in here, but I'm sure
Couple
you'll
years
still have
later.
the garden maybe over there a little bit.
Yeah.
Got to have the best of both worlds, because I have a feeling you're going to get addicted to this.
Oh yes.
This is good. I'll be over for a visit.
Okay.
Thanks, Dave. Good stuff.
All right, thanks.
That's it for now. We're going to have more Terra at Home to come in just a little bit.
Live color fully at Terra, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning, welcome back to Terra at Home. We're back with Chef Mark from La Piazza Allegra Restaurant in Hamilton. And we have a whole lot of ingredients here right now, but
We do.
particularly we want to start with talking about salts and
Yeah.
how you can flavor your own salt.
Yes. So, I mean, the beauty about my job is we're always learning, we're always experimenting. So, one thing that you can do at home is change up the salts that you're using. And by changing the salt, making the dish exactly the same will change the outcome of it. So,
yes.
I'll show you a couple of the salts that I brought along, and I'll
Okay.
tell you the one that we made and then how we go about doing that. So, over here we have a kosher salt, okay? We have a Himalayan salt. This black one here is a Hawaiian sea salt,
at that.
okay? We have a fine sea salt, and then the one that we made here, the very end one, is a tequila and lime salt. Okay.
fun.
Now, what's important about that is each salt has its own unique flavor. So, I mean, the Himalayan to me is a little bit too salty. Plus,
Yes.
you're looking at how coarse it
It
is.
is very coarse. I have that
Okay.
one at home too.
So, what we use with that is you know, last week we did that the dish with the gravlax, and
Yes.
you know, you could use something like that just as a garnish. So if somebody
Yes.
wants a little extra salt, you know, put a little pile of
That's
that on the side,
perfect.
and it works really well. Kosher salt and sea salts are very, very similar. Okay. However, what you'll find with kosher salt is kosher is very uniform. It's not necessarily brand specific. They will taste the same. Where sea salt, because it's harvested with the sea salt, it'll pick up minerals from the sea. So depending on where that sea salt comes from, will have a different flavor. So even sea salts will have. You look at that Hawaiian one. I mean, it's picking up that lava from the
That's what I'm
Hawaiian
thinking.
shore. It's
Right.
black. So it's got a
That's awesome.
smokiness, natural smokiness about it, where the regular fine sea salt won't have that.
I love the smoked sea salt, and like any type of smokiness in a salt is amazing. So
And-
that's nice.
Yeah, and again, you can infuse this yourself.
Sure.
So to give you an example, this one here that we did, which is the tequila and lime, we took our regular kosher salt, I should say, or sea salt, doesn't really matter, and we're going to squeeze some lime onto that. You're going to put a shot of tequila, you're going to put it onto a baking sheet, and then you want to dehydrate it. So if you don't
Right.
have a dehydrator at your house, you put it in the oven really, really low and leave it for a couple hours.
Okay, that's easy enough, right?
And just break it up from time to time just so it doesn't clump up on you, and you're taking all that moisture back out. But what ends up happening is those flavors really do get infused into the salt. And I mean, I've seen salts out there. You can do anything. I've seen a Merlot salt out there. I've seen balsamic salts out there.
That's fun.
Again, of course, you have the smoked salts, which you can get in. If you have a cold smoker, you can always put that in there
Sure.
as well, and it'll infuse. So like I said, by changing that, I mean, if we were to do the same dish and I did one chicken thigh here, which each one of these salts, every one of them would taste completely different.
that's awesome.
Just by the salt
How
itself.
easy. And of course, salt is such a key ingredient for meats because it really does bring out the flavor, right?
It does. It makes everything pop.
Yeah. Okay, so what are we actually going to make today?
So today we're going to do a dish that is done with boneless, skinless chicken thigh. Now I really like boneless, skinless chicken thighs.
Me too.
A little bit more fat into them because it's the thigh,
Right.
but it's got more flavor. It doesn't dry out like chicken breast does.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to do that, and I'm going to do it with this tequila lime salt that we
Okay.
have, and then I brought along a little bit of rice, and we're going to do a little rice, like a Spanish rice, a very quick Spanish rice with some
Great.
diced tomatoes, some corn. We've got some jalapeno over there, and we'll
perfect.
slice some fresh avocado, and we'll put it all together.
Oh, that sounds good. I like this. Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
So we have the chicken thighs. We're going to throw a little bit of oil on that, touch of pepper.
Now you're just doing this on a grill pan.
I'm going to do it on a grill pan. Yeah.
But I guess you could do this on the barbecue, but you just have to.
You could do it on a barbecue. I mean, the only thing with the chicken thighs is they're a lot smaller pieces.
Right, I was just going to say they're so small.
Yeah, so you just want to make sure that you give your grill a good scrape, and then of course make sure you oil that rag and wipe that down to make sure you don't have any bristles or anything on your grill. And then as long as it's well seasoned, the chicken thighs won't stick to it.
Okay.
Okay, so I put some pepper and a little bit of garlic right now. And now I'm going to use that salt. Now the salt is still salt, so you got to be careful. Don't think, oh, I want to really limey thing.
It's flavor, right?
It's
Yeah,
just flavor.
salt.
It is still salt. Okay, now you can see that when you make your own salt, it is going to be a little coarse depending on the moisture. If there's
Sure.
still moisture left in it, it'll do what this is doing, so it'll
Okay.
leave a little bit of, it'll be a little bit chunkier.
Okay, what about storage for that then?
You really want it dry.
Yes.
It's got to be in a tight, airtight, dry.
Just in the cupboard though?
A cupboard would work,
Okay.
yeah. If you have it in a jar, it will probably work best.
Okay.
Glass jar or something that
Sure.
air and moisture can't get into.
You could do one of those tiny little mason jars, right? The smaller ones?
Yeah, put it in something like that.
Okay.
You got to keep the moisture away from it.
Okay.
All right. So we got that all covered. And we got our grill pan, and I'm going to throw that right on.
Yeah, I'm curious to try this now when you're incorporating a lime tequila salt. As you say, it just changes everything.
It does. It changes the flavor of the dish. And again, that was just a simple lime tequila. You can do it with port if you want something. A port
Sure.
salt in
Oh,
the
wow.
wintertime, really robust, savory dish.
So
Go over a
good.
little sweetness in there. I don't know if you're into wild boar, but if you get a wild
Yes.
boar with a nice little port salt onto
be
it,
good.
it'd be fantastic. So we're going to sear this.
Okay.
What I like about these grill pans, you still get a nice grill mark. You're going to
Yes,
get
I
a
love
little
them.
char flavor onto it. I mean, it goes over well. It works really well, especially for
using it.
chicken and stuff. It's a nice, simple thing to do.
Yeah.
So we have our avocado, and I'll start slicing that and getting ready for plating.
So as you say, you're cooking. What kind of rice are you pairing with this one?
This one's just a long grain rice that we
grain,
did, and we're gonna do like a Spanish style, a very simple Spanish style with a little bit of corn in there.
Okay.
Again, you could have toasted the corn ahead of time if you
Sure.
wanted that little flavor. It's just fresh off the husk.
Okay.
We got some diced tomatoes in there, a little bit of garlic into the rice.
That's great.
So we'll use a little bit of that. But it does really give you a lot more things to experiment with when you start playing with simple things like salts.
Yes.
You know, everybody tries different herbs, but a lot of people just assume
Try
salt
the
is
salts.
salt.
No, I think
And
that's a good
one
idea.
thing you should do, would suggest carrying an iodized salt all the time. You know, your regular standard, you're going to boil water,
Sure. Just use that
anything
for
like
the
that, use that
basics.
one.
Uh-huh.
But try them. Because when you try, and always try the iodized salt last.
Okay.
Because it really has a very, very strong flavor to it. So start with your kosher salt, let's try with your other salts, okay, that are a little milder, and then go to your iodized, and you'll see, and it'll make sense to you where to use what.
Okay. All right. Yeah, an experiment, as you say, just opens up your pantry to
It does.
your kitchen to a
It
whole other
does.
world.
It really changes how you can cook and opens up a whole world of different dishes that you can make.
Wonderful. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to continue. We'll put this all together when we come back right after the break.
Live color fully at Terra, where color lives.
I am a truth seeker.
A storyteller.
A dedicated volunteer.
I am a caring neighbor.
A customer's best friend.
And a client advocate.
I am a survivor.
A social media junkie.
A proud father of four and problem solver.
I am the Hamilton Spectator.
I am the Hamilton Spectator.
I am the Hamilton Spectator.
We are the Hamilton Spectator.
Welcome back to Terra at Home. We're back with Chef Mark, and we have our rice prepared.
Yes, we have our
And
rice
chicken's
prepared,
done.
chicken's done, and we're just going to plate it up now. So,
Okay.
all I did with this rice, real simple, a little bit of garlic, long grain. I put some stewed tomatoes in there, a little bit of corn. Nice
As you're
and
saying, you
simple.
could have like charred it up or grilled
Yeah,
it
you
up
can
if
you can
wanted to.
grill up the corn first and chart it up. But this will go really well with that chicken. It's along the same lines. I brought a jalapeno along. We'll slice them there, so anyone who wants a little bit of heat, you got a little bit of heat for it.
Love the avocado.
Yeah.
Basically put that on everything. Perfect. Now, of course, the whole point of this segment was we were talking about salts and all the different flavored salts, and the one that we made that you can make at home as well with a whole bunch of other ones was the tequila lime.
Tequila lime, yeah. So nice and simple. Again, I kind of designed the dish around the salt itself.
Right.
And what's nice about that is because you have a flavored salt, the chicken really doesn't need anything else. It won't need a sauce or anything like that.
That's great.
So we'll throw us a little bit of jalapenos on this. And
While you're doing that, just a reminder again, you can grab this recipe on our website at terragreenhouses.com, so you can give it a try. And again, be adventurous and try making your own salts, flavored salts.
Yeah,
Changes
try
the
different
course of
things.
your meal, and then as you say, work all the rest of the ingredients into it.
that's right.
That will accompany those flavors. So just a little bit of olive oil or oil or type of oil on the chicken.
Yeah.
And the salt.
And the salt, and that was a little bit of pepper because I didn't have any pepper in there. And again, you know, the big thing with the salt, just dehydrate it. Nice
Okay.
and low for a
Right.
long period of time on a baking sheet.
Okay. So, and you got to watch when you're, as you're saying, when you're using fluids like, wines, ports, tequilas, that you don't obviously put too much. You're trying to dehydrate it and dry it right out.
That's right.
essentially, right?
If you make your own wine, your best bet is to use the must off of the grapes. What's left, that will give you the best flavor for a wine
Ooh,
flavored
that's good.
grape. Yeah. I mean, just start
Nice.
playing. Nice thing about salt, it's cheap.
You're right. And it gives you lots of flavor.
That's right.
Thanks so much, Chef Mark. That's it for now. Have yourself a great weekend.